Good evening, everyone. It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy. How is everyone doing? Welcome to our first chat show of 2021. We had a couple of weeks break because of Christmas. Hope you all had a good Christmas. With me, as always, is my partner in crime, Mr. David Jones. How are you doing?
I'm very well, mate. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Good to see you, my friends.
Welcome to lockdown number 3. Hopefully the last one in the trilogy.
Yeah.
I hope they don't turn it into a Skywalker saga. That'll be 6 more.
6 more. No, please don't, Dave. No. But on the upside, 3 more months of playing computer games.
Hey.
Possibly. I don't know. We'll see. We have a special guest every week, and this week I'm delighted to bring in Chris Dawes. Hello, Chris.
Evening, chaps. Happy New Year to you. Hey, never mind. Your lockdown. Lockdown 1 completed it. Lockdown 2 completed it. Lockdown 3 completed it, mate. No problem. All of it.
He's going to be fine. When we do the next 6, smashed it, completed it. He's done it. Oh dear. There you go. Hello to people in the chat and are watching. Good evening. If you've got any questions for us, just drop them in the chat. We're going to do something a little bit different with this week's show and next week's show, in the fact that we want to discuss. We discussed on our last show about all our favourite games of 2020. We're discussing all the games that are coming out in 2021. Now, obviously not all the games, because we'd be here for like the next 4 years trying to explain it. But we've whittled it down to about 34 games. So we're doing this as a 2-parter. We're doing this week, we're doing 17 games, and next week, another 17 games. So we're going to try and show you some trailers, talk about the games that are coming out. Some have literally got release dates and are coming out very soon, and some we're just kind of like in the wind, but we're told sometime in 2021. So, Chris, we'll start with yourself. What sort of games do you love to play, and what are you potentially looking forward to this year?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's what I love about where I'm at with my gaming is it's a family affair. So my wife is as much of a gamer as I am, and that's a wicked thing. So what we like to do is have a game that we play together. That sounds not so wrong. So we have a typical sort of adventure type game that we'll do together. So we're doing Assassin's Creed Valhalla at the moment is our sort of go-to for that. But it's like when we started going out, it was Oblivion was she'd be with a map and I'd be with a fucking. That's how we found one each other. Playing that. But then I'll have quick goes on Call of Duty, like a lot of people. Just a quick session on that. Other games that I've been playing recently is Jedi Fallen Order. Yes. I thought that was an exceptional game. Except a bit buggy. There's some bugs in there that I thought they missed. I've had lots of walking through walls.
Oh, have you? I've not had that yet.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Do you know what? One of the games that I really, really love is Alien Isolation.
Yes.
It gets a lot of hate, and I just don't know why.
Why?
Most people don't get the game. It's rubbish. Do you know what? The atmosphere that is created and the love that's gone into that game, the homage, that just walking down the characters, you get the whole feeling, the connection, and the respect that it's got for the films. And I thought that was such a huge achievement. And who thought hiding in flipping cupboards could be fun? The Nostromo DLC pack for that was enjoyable. I thought they did a great job of feeling part of the movie. So it's quite an eclectic mix for me. Favorite games of all time: Resident Evil 2, Half-Life, GoldenEye. Got to say GoldenEye. Yeah. As people know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so Star Wars games are right up there on my list. Jedi Academy Dark Forces was one of my very first PC games, and that was a special game to me. Absolutely special. To get that Doom vibe, and it's Star Wars. What more do you want?
Yeah, you got because the most recent Star Wars game was obviously Squadrons. I saw you got that on day of release, didn't you?
did. I had such high hopes for that game, and I can't help but be disappointed. It visually fantastic. It just lacked heart. It lacked a real Star Wars narrative and sort of feeling like you were sort of part of the Star Wars world. It just had some sort of disconnect. I think it should have just been a VR game. Just call it a VR game. That's what it is, and kept it at that. You know, I did used to play the old X-Wing and TIE Fighter games, and they were fantastic. I loved them in that era. Joystick and all, brilliant. Loved it. And that's what I thought I might have got that same feeling. I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. And I thought the controls were far too complicated. I thought the learning curve was steep. I just thought it'd put off a lot of people. It's for the ultra hardcore simulator people at best.
It's a shame because it's a game that was getting quite hyped up, and then it came out, and to be fair, it kind of disappeared within a trace within the games that were out for that main run up to Christmas. So it's a shame that was that. Dave, games this year, we've heard about your favourite games last year. Games you're looking forward to this year?
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk getting finished off. That'll be great. Because we've been trying the beta out before Christmas, or perhaps even the alpha in some cases, isn't it? Yeah, bit of shambles here and there, but I'm sure it'll be version 1.0 out later this year. So that definitely. Oh God, what else is going out? I was PlayStation 5 stuff I'm looking forward to. Next Horizon, Forbidden West, because I really enjoyed the first one, and whether it will make it for 2021, I don't know. But the next God of War. They said 2021, that very brief teaser trailer they showed, but I'm not totally convinced it'll be this year.
We are going to talk about that next week. It kind of crept in right at the bottom of list of games.
Yeah.
And I know I won't be able to cover everything because I'll talk about what we're going to discuss next week as well at the end of near the end of the show. But it was one of those games with like it's sneaking in, so it's kind of snuck in on the radar. So hopefully that will make 2021. But as I say, we're gonna go through 17 games tonight, hopefully, and some of them have got release dates, and I'm going to try and go in order of when they're being released, and some are just kind of scattered, and then there's some we're going to talk about that should have been out fairly soon, but we know have been delayed. So we're going to kind of a good mix of stuff, and a lot of these games are for Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Switch. So I'll let you know as we go. So, gentlemen, are you ready to do the onslaught of these games?
I'm ready, mate. Go for it.
Right. Well, we're gonna start with the first game, which actually comes out in literally 2 weeks' time on the 20th of Jan. This is the third of a trilogy. It's been a very liked game, which has had many updates and many things. This is going to be Hitman 3. We're going to watch the trailer for this, and then we'll talk about our thoughts. And this trailer is courtesy of IO Studios, who made Hitman 3. So here we go.
It was always going to end like this. All your hard work, all your sacrifice, only sped up the process. And now, you find yourself alone. Only death awaits.
So there we go. That is Hitman 3. I haven't actually played any of the Hitman games. I've actually got them on my console, but I have loved watching so many people play them. Have any of you guys played them or experienced them? Because it's a very much loved community, these games, and they've said this is going to be the last one for some time.
Do you know what? It's really surprising when you're saying that, because I'm exactly the same. It's one of them that you've always got your eye on, and you think, I need to play them games, but you haven't. And I don't. It's like something that's just like slipped through for a lot of people. Like, you know, it's a good game, but you just haven't got into it. But I have to say that one, visually, I'm kind of sold. I've watched some in-game stuff. It's looking like a great next-gen feel, and I get that for that, because I'm still sort of waiting for a real next-gen game still.
Yeah.
It
Dave,
might not be that. It might not be that. It might be.
Dave, what are your thoughts?
Well, again, I'm the same as you guys. It's always been there. I've always seen videos of it and thought it does look interesting. It looks like some cool levels, good things to do, but again, I haven't got around to it. I think I've probably claimed it on 1, 2, 3 platforms where it's become free. Never really played it. But the one I will be interested to see when this one comes out is what the Daily Mail crowd think of the VR mode, because they're always on, aren't they, about games being murder simulators. This one actually is. Behind someone, the rape. You can actually do it, and that's. So I can't wait to see what they make of that. Should be fun.
Yeah, I did see what I'm presuming is one of the early sort of opening tutorial levels of a character high up on a skyline, and I have to say some of the dynamic effects on it of you know, you could see the wind because they were so high up on the clothing, and that was actually really impressive. It was really clear.
Yeah,
been a technology leap from the previous gen, so I'm quite interested, particularly the game of that type where it's all stealth, etc. Whether more things like that come into play and they start to really take advantage of that technology. Whether they've really started to get to used to the kit that we've got now, when we start to see some of that stuff come in.
I think it's one to watch, and it's the first big game of this year, as I say. So I think it'd be good, and you know that if it's anything like the last 2 games, they'll be adding stuff to it by 2023. They'll still be like adding missions and updates and things. That's the one thing I think you get your money's worth out of that game. So it should be good. Cool. We're going to move on to the next game, which is also a January release. This one is an Xbox only exclusive. This is made by Bloober Team, who made the Layers of Fear games. And they also made, probably about 2 years ago, the Blair Witch game, which was so-so. However, this looks a lot more interesting. This is a game called The Medium. Let's have a look at the trailer.
It's all falling apart. I should have known better than to listen to you. I let him into my home. What? No, he wouldn't. He couldn't have. Shut up. You better do it fast. Because if you don't, I will kill him.
So that is The Medium. That is an Xbox exclusive, as I say. What are people's thoughts? Are you into horror games?
Personally, I love horror games, so big Resident Evil fan, Prey, Alan Wake, anything like that, I'm in. My thoughts on Medium were it's either going to be great or it's going to be absolutely pants, and there's going to be no in between on that. Some of the cinematics look great, and then when I saw the guy at the end, the character, I thought, oh, hang on a minute, hang on, that's not saying next gen to me. That for some reason, that doesn't look quite right to me. That so I just, for purposes these days, for where we're at, I want to see next gen.
Yeah.
I want to see it, or I want to be buying it well, I want to use my Game Pass.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Make me justify buying a game at full price now.
Yeah.
And that's got work to do that.
My thoughts on this one were when I saw the Xbox launch games thing back in the summer. This is one of the only 2 games that stood out to me. I think me and Dave, we discussed this. Isn't this got the person behind Silent Hill doing all the music for it?
Yeah, it has. When I saw it, it made me think of Silent Hill, the sort of style it had.
Yeah. Now, Bloober Team have had very mixed hits. First Layers of Fear is very good. Second Layers of Fear was still a good game, but not many people respond to it. Blair Witch is okay at best. And they've had a very mixed up and down reaction with games. So I get the feeling this is kind of their biggest big budget game, but it doesn't almost look, as Chris said, big budget. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I think it looks good. As you say, it's probably not next gen, but we're too early into next gen for them to really be pushing all the hardware. Because they're still developing for the older consoles, because that's where the player base is, isn't it? They're all still on that. So you're not going to see massive graphical leaps on every game just at the minute. But I wouldn't say it looks horrible. It looks good enough. Yeah, have to wait and see. It's at least got that whole dual world thing going, hasn't it? So you can see both things at the same time. Be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah,
that'll either be really good, or it will just get old and stale, and you get fed up of it pretty quick.
If they do anything like they did with Titanfall 2 or Dishonored 2, where you hopped through times and worlds, then hopefully they'll nail it. But if they don't, we'll see.
Yeah, we're just going to wait and see.
And to be fair, going to the graphics again, these games are about atmosphere. They're about, sound design is such an important part of building those games, and effects and all that on top. So, although I'm dissing the character design and some of the work on it, if they get some of the world right and like you're playing in, and you get your sound design right, you've got atmosphere, which is what you want from that sort of game. That's why go back to Alien Isolation, which is that's why that game works so well, because of the lighting and sound.
Yeah.
That's what that game. That's how it's sold, and that's why it works. So hopefully,
fingers crossed. If they've got this score with the guy that does the Silent Hill things, and they've got that atmosphere and the sound thing, that might make up for some of the graphical things. We shall see. If you've got an Xbox and you've got Game Pass, you will get this free on the 28th of January. So it's going straight to Game Pass on day of release. So any Xbox fans, but it is only an Xbox exclusive as well. So there you go. That's the first Xbox exclusive for this year. Moving on to something else to do with horror games. This is a sequel of a very much loved side-scrolling game, which I absolutely adored, and I know Dave did as well. This, again, is probably far more creepier than the last game. It's due out on pretty much every platform from the 11th of February. This is going to be Little Nightmares 2. Here we go with the trailer. Yeah, Little Nightmares. I'll start with Dave. You've played the first one many a time.
Yeah, I played the first one. Played through its DLC as well. I really enjoyed it. It had great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Some great little horror sections to it as well. I have played a demo of the second one. I'm not sure if it came out on mostly, so I just came across it on the PC. Just a little demo had come out of what I assume is like the first stage, and again, that had good atmosphere. It felt like just like the original game atmosphere wise.
Yeah,
oh, it's good little settings. Yeah, out in the woods, then into like a cabin with some strange guy in a mask with a big double-barrel shotgun chasing you. Properly, very creepy. So yeah, I've got high hopes for the second one. Looking forward to it.
I really like the first one. I didn't actually play the DLC, but I did like the first one. I noticed that in this one you are playing a new character, but the original character does return, but it's more of a side character. So that could be interesting how they move the story on. Chris, is this a game you've come across or played? Or?
Oh, it really isn't. It grabbed me when I watched the trailer. I thought, why don't I know about this game? So I'm interested to go and find the first one and check it out.
I think the first one's on Games for Gold this month, isn't it? If memory serves.
That's a good point. You can get it
there
free.
You go.
Games for Gold. So download it. It's worth it. It's not a long game, is it, Dave? It's a couple of hours.
No, maybe 6 hours or something like that. It's not a long one, but it's what I'd say is that the perfect length for it. It doesn't outstay its welcome. Some games can just go on and on and on. Red Dead Redemption 2 really went on.
Like you said, a lot of games can go on and on. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
Sneak that in there.
Yeah. Party blooming long.
Well, that is out on the 11th of February. If you haven't played the first one, you can get it free on Xbox this month. But it is out on, I believe, Switch, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox on 11th Feb. Apologies for the fact the video didn't work. When we put this on catch up, I will slot it in and re-edit it and chuck it in there so you can watch it back to your heart's consent for people who missed that. We'll see how we go. If this next video cocks up, I might have to rethink how I'm doing these videos. As I say, we normally only show about 8 trailers, so I might have actually killed YouTube officially. I might have destroyed YouTube. So we'll see how we go. This next game, release date is 25th of February. I know a lot of people are fans of this game. It is not something I'm familiar with. I've heard of these games. It is part of the Persona games. This is going to be Persona 5 Strikers. So here we go. Fingers crossed this trailer works. Here we go.
Oh, this looks bad. It got serious numbers.
Hey everyone! You can give me all your desires.
Watch out! Shadows incoming!
Give it everything you've got, guys!
Showtime! Take this!
Locked on!
Persona!
What the hell? Is this stuff happening all over Japan? I will consume all who oppose me, no matter who they are!
We are the Phantom Thieves, and all those desires you stole.
We're taking them all back. Do you realize how dangerous a position you're in right now?
It's it! My turn! Good move, Joker!
Let's do this!
Unleash the chains that bind you, and take back the people's hearts.
For real?
So there we go. That's Persona 5 Strikers out on PC, Switch, PlayStation, no Xbox. Any of you guys familiar with the Persona games?
No, not even a little bit, mate.
Okay, so moving on. No, I do know there's a massive fan base for these games. I know that one of our people on the Twitch stream, funny enough, the person who makes the t-shirts and does all the artwork, Pixie Star, she streams Persona games and she loves them. So I know there's definitely a market for it. I mean, I don't know enough. I couldn't tell whether that's a hack and slash kind of game or a turn-based combat because I was never quite clear.
That's exactly what was going through my head. What is this game? I jumped through it. Do you know what? It's just so niche. Like you say, it's got its fan base, and I'm sure that, they might absolutely love and adore that. But is it going to appeal to the masses? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it looks like something you might see on Game Pass. I know it's not coming to Xbox, but on the arcade or that sort of price point.
Yeah.
What if it was, I don't know, 15, 20 quid game, do you know what? I might have a bash of it. But it doesn't do it for me in the slightest. Not in the slightest.
Dave, would you be interested in this or not?
If it came onto Game Pass, you say I'd have a look at it there. But other stuff that's going to come out, I'd rather be playing stuff like Little Nightmares 2 over that. That's just more appealing to me.
Fair enough. As I say, it comes out on the 25th of Feb on PC, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. Moving into games for March. It's funny because there's 2 games in March which are both pretty much remakes. This one was a very beloved PlayStation game. It was on other platforms, but they're bringing it, I think, solely to PlayStation. I'll check when I watch the end of the trailer. But they made a big announcement because Ubisoft are producing this one. This is the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. So let's check out the trailer for this and see what we think.
Most people think time is like a river that flows swift and sure in one direction. But I have seen the face of time, and I can tell you, they are wrong.
Inside the hourglass is a marvel no living man has ever seen. Only the dagger can unlock the sands of time.
No! Stop!
No! Father! I saw my father turn to sand.
You cannot defeat this enemy. The sands will consume everything.
Come with me then. But I warn you, I move pretty fast. You'd better keep up.
Prince! The dagger! It can turn back time!
Give me the dagger!
Never! I brought this on us.
You are brave and good.
Don't let go.
Back would look here.
So there you go. Now, interestingly, the trailer for that says it was due to come out in January, but it has been postponed to 18th of March. So it's been pushed back by just about 2 months. And it's for PlayStation only. I never played this. I only saw the god-awful Jake Gyllenhaal film. But never played the game. I played the very original Prince of Persia, which is much beloved. Chris, do you want to start with this one? Did you ever play this one or the others?
I played the original, and I think I might have dabbled. I might have played it at someone's house or something, the original remake. But I thought that was absolute toilet, actually. I think that's got fucking troll written all over it, actually. I don't know who's going to buy it, who's going to want it. It was like it was trying to... What I thought was, is this trying to be Tomb Raider? That's someone who's done the... For me, who's moved with the times. I'm a big fan of the Tomb Raider games, of how they've changed. The past recent games were fantastic, in my opinion. Really enjoyed them. It's moved with the times. And that's saying it's trying to do it, but it looks shit. It just doesn't float my boat.
I
think
think
that was one of the complaints. That's why it's been pushed back a bit to try and do something about the graphics. A lot of people said it doesn't look that good.
Oh,
Gonna remake it at least.
I was looking in the corner. I could see the PlayStation symbol. I'm like, it's not going to say fucking 5, that is it? It's not. I was waiting for the PSP symbol to come up at one point. Fucking hell!
Yeah.
I mean, that's got work. That's got work to do, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does need a little bit more, definitely.
I just look at some games and I think, who's going to buy them? When you've got some real, AAA titles out there, what's going to make me choose that one? I can't think of a single reason why I'd pick it up.
There's been a lot of remasters for sake of making remasters recently. And again, we discussed this over many of the talk shows. And when Ubisoft announced this at the conference, people weren't that fussed about it.
I mean, who loves Prince of Persia, the first one, original? Like you say, it's got some love there, and it's not a lot of nostalgia. Who gives a shit about Prince of Persia now? Nobody does. But
Ubisoft haven't for years, have they?
Yeah.
The first we've seen of it for donkey's years.
And they clearly don't now either. So,
out of that era of Prince of Persia games, that was the best one out of them. I did play that one, and it was good. I enjoyed the puzzles and exploration. The fighting never gelled with me. It just ended up pissing me off. I think I swore at the TV a number of times. Never played it again after that game. So I can't see myself going back and trying it again. I don't think my skill level's got any better over the years. But after that one, the Prince, they kind of took him down more like the emo route. It went a bit sort of rocky and dark, like the next two in that trilogy. And it wasn't as to be loved. Then I did another sort of reboot of it that also went down the pan. So this is, if they can remake anything, that's the best one to remake. But unless it's like 20 quid, I don't think anyone's going to be that bothered. You wouldn't pay that much for it, would you?
That's not really saying much then. It's a bit like when they said, the last Terminator film was the best one after Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. But saying that, the 3 films that were before it weren't that much good anyway. So it doesn't really make that but, hey ho. Right. We'll swiftly move on from that one then. We're going to come to another game, which is a remake. But it's almost like a bolstered version. Again, this game's been out a while. I think it came out on PlayStation a year ago, but they're now bringing out like a Game of the Year edition version of it, but it's coming to PC for the first time. This is a game which is like a role-playing game. I know the name of this, but again, I don't know a lot about this, but this is Disco Elysium, the Final Cut version. Which was announced at the Game Awards at Christmas. So let's check out the trailer for that.
Get up, detective. One last time. The great city at the end of the world is waiting. So, get out there, solve the murder with a unique skill system at your disposal. Carve your own path across an award-winning open world. And uncover even more in this groundbreaking role-playing game. Meet and get to know more of the locals.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Sure thing, champ. Lead the way.
If you could only find your gun.
It's okay.
With full voice acting for every single one of the city's beautiful people.
Yes. I'm going to unplug the microphone, okay?
And leave a bigger mark behind you in new quests.
You're big boy. You can handle it.
Enjoy the definitive edition of this hit RPG, Disco Elysium, the Final Cut, a free upgrade for all players.
There we go. So that's Disco Elysium Final Cut. So they're doing as mentioned, a remastered version for PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5 version. And it also comes out on PC. We don't have an exact date. It just says March. So it's coming around about the end of March for that one. Dave, I'll start with you. Fan of RPGs or these?
I do like RPGs. It's finding a good one that it's tricky sometimes. It actually lives up to what it's trying to do. You take Cyberpunk as a good example. Tells you there's all these things you can do, ways you can alter the story. It doesn't really feel like it in that one. But I think in this, I think it does kind of live up to that with what it's offering. And I've seen it on PC a few times. I thought it looked interesting, but it's one I just haven't got around to. Whether I will with the final cut, it's hard to say. It depends what else is out, because you've got to try and fit these in. It's yet another open world game, lots of quests to do, at least into your time. From looking at some of the screenshots and the vids in that, it looks like it's quite a text-heavy game as well. There's a lot of information going on the right-hand side of the screen, so it's not going to be one for everyone who just wants to get down into the action, I think. If you like a sort of good, deep story, it's probably going to be really good.
Yeah. You say you might not have enough time to play it, but considering the only other big game that's coming out in March is Prince of Persia, you should have plenty of time because no one's going to be playing that.
I'm still trying to finish off Red Dead 2, mate, in the bloody epilogue now. Part 1 of 2 in the epilogue.
Oh, so you've got about another 24 hours to go on that then, I think.
Something like that. Still going.
We'll come back this time next year and he'll still be playing it. Yeah. Chris, what
finish it this lockdown?
Yeah, you finish it. What lockdown 7, completing it, mate.
So whilst it's not a game I'd get, I did like the look of it, and I think for the right market, I think there's a lot of people that will love that game. That is the sort of game my missus would be all over.
Right. Okay.
She had a PC to play on, because it's one of them that for the right player, it's like one of those old schools where you just lock yourself in your bedroom for the weekend, and you just come out for your cups of tea and you just absorbed yourself in a true narrative game, and that's what it reminded me of, that game. Bit of an old school adventure that you used to go on with some games. Yeah, I quite liked it, and best of luck to games. Again for the right person, I think it looks like it could be a great game.
Yeah, it's piqued my interest. I knew the name of it. I kept hearing the name of the game being bandied around. Never actually saw any footage or any of it. It's got my interest after seeing that, because that's the first time I've seen that trailer today, compared to some of the other games that I've seen the trailer for.
Like Dave says, all the text down the right-hand side, it's what level of depth you can go into as opposed to what to go into. And that can sometimes dictate the success of a game as well, can't it? To the broad appeal that it could have. I'm not someone who'd want to take the time out and get that, but some people, will be all over that and have a great time.
Okay. Cool. We're going to just show one more game, and then we're going to get into some news. There's not been that much news over Christmas, but there's only really 2 big news stories, so we'll talk about one of them shortly. This next game, again, is part of a franchise. I don't really know much, again, about it. I try and be fair and try and put every type of genre as much as possible. This is a game called Guilty Gear Strive, which is a fighting game. This trailer is for one of the characters because all the other trailers were nearly 10 minutes long, and I thought there's no way we're having that. So I managed to find the shortest trailer, but it'll give you an idea of some of the gameplay. So this is Guilty Gear Strive. Here we go. Okay, so that's Guilty Gear Strive. That is coming out on PlayStation 4, 5, and on PC. And is due out on April the 9th. It's got a very sort of cartoon style, but it looks beautiful, I have to say. And the stuff on it, you get some games that to me, the most recent Street Fighters don't look right compared to that. But that almost blends in so much like a comic. It just looks the part. What, Chris? I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Whilst I agree, it looks visually beautiful. What I thought was, who's going to fucking buy that? Like genuinely, who in the UK, right? Who in the UK is going to buy that, right? You're going to get Mortal Kombat, you're going to get Tekken, and you're going to get the usual suspects. I just don't know who buys it in the UK. Again, it's got to be a very niche customer who buys that. They've got to be really sort of into that, and it's got to offer something new or unique other than the visuals. And I don't know what that is.
Okay, Dave, your thoughts on it?
Again, as you say, it looks really nice. It's got that cool sort of anime style to it, hasn't it? But I think unless you're really into those sort of fighting games and you want to get into them, learn all the moves, master a character, take it to competition and stuff, I don't know. Chris says you're probably not really going to be bothered about it, are you? There's lots of other ones that you're going to play instead. The bigger ones that everyone knows about, the Mortal Kombats, the Street Fighters. It's not on my radar. Never has been.
I do feel ashamed for games like that, to be honest with you, because it is like the Mortal Kombats, the Street Fighters, and the Tekkens who've mopped up. It's I think it's so hard for the games like that to really come through. It's like they haven't got a chance. I mean, I just won't open myself up to these new. It could be great. It could be brilliant.
Well, those are the ones that have the marketing budgets, don't they? They just push themselves in your face so you see, and that's all you see.
Yeah, I just...
You'll hear about these ones word of mouth. Someone will say it's absolutely brilliant. Have you ever tried it? No, I haven't. Probably never will.
But to be fair, that's what's so good about Game Pass and PlayStation, because we are starting to experiment a little bit more with what we're... I am with I'm now happy to try different genres a little bit more. So hopefully in the future, games like that might get a better opportunity than what they've had previously. I think that's a big positive for the way gaming's going. So hopefully games like that will get a better shot.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially with these gaming services and streaming services. It does give games and even indie games, and we'll see some in a bit that are going to be announced for this year, and they get a better opportunity to showcase themselves. Because whereas before they would get left behind greatly, which is quite sad, especially if it turns out it's such a great game. Sometimes you might get one that will get a bit of a comeback. So like you saw what would happen with Among Us, which is actually quite a few years old, and it's had a massive resurgence in 2020, and now it's going across platforms, which is great because it is a good game. But, that doesn't always happen to every game. They're quite fortunate. So we'll move on. I think we'll move on to another news story. I want to say hello to a few people in the chat. Our viewer counter isn't working properly. I've got an error thing come up here. But I know that Chris is here. Kuda's here. Hello to Mia. Hello to Hale. Hope you're all well. Thanks for tuning in and watching. If you've got any questions, drop them in the chat. And also, as mentioned, if you want to carry on the discussion after this show, the link's there for the Discord. And also, if you want to sub with Amazon Prime, it costs you nothing to subscribe to this channel. So there you go. Plug for me. I get £2.50 from the subscription. It don't come out your account. Everyone's happy. I'm robbing money from Amazon. There you go. I know Kuda says he's walking the dog right now. So while he's watching, hey, if you're getting exercise and watching us at the same time, awesome. That's what that show was made for. You can watch it anywhere. There you go. Let's talk a bit about news before we go on to the next couple of games. So I think what I was going to discuss one bit of news that happened over Christmas, but I'm going to jump to the other story first because it ties in nicely with what we were saying about gaming services and Game Pass and other ones. So there was a rumor floating around last week, and I know Chris saw this in the Nerds for Networking group, that obviously Ubisoft launched a while ago their pay-for streaming game service that you can pay them a bit like EA Play. You pay them a certain amount a year, and you get access to all their catalogue of games and their new games, and you pay them a subscription, which is fine. But obviously, there's already EA Access or EA Play. There's obviously Game Pass, etc. EA Play's now become part of Game Pass, so you're saving 20 quid a year. But the rumours are Microsoft have now approached Ubisoft and said, what do we need to do for your Ubisoft service to be part of Game Pass? Which means not only will all the Bethesda games be on Game Pass on day of release because of the fact that they have bought Bethesda, you will get all the EA Play games and potentially all your Assassin's Creed, all your Far Cry games, all the other stuff that you get, like your Watch Dogs and stuff. That's a hell of a lot of games. Do we think this is going to happen, or do we think this is just a bullshit rumor?
Depends how much money there is to throw about. If they've still got a bit of change behind the settee after buying Bethesda, whatnot, then maybe. That's what it will come down to, money.
Yeah, but I think it'll happen. I think Microsoft's got the clout, and I do think it's more than got the budget to make it happen. And I think with the way the console war, even though it's not even freaking properly started yet, the way I think it's just another blow that Microsoft can give. And when I saw that, I thought, wow. I mean, Game Pass is just incredible. It's phenomenal. And just to layer Ubisoft games on that, I mean, that is such a formidable catalogue now. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can't think of anything that's better value for, like, fuck Netflix, forget Disney Plus and everything. That Game Pass subscription is number one, right up there. It's absolutely incredible value for money. Absolutely stunning. And PlayStation just are nowhere near it.
This is the thing. They pulled it out the bag with the whole Bethesda thing. And even though they've said, look, doesn't mean there's going to be exclusives, but it does mean if they bring out a new Doom, Wolfenstein, if there's another Dishonored, if there's flipping, I don't know, Skyrim or whatever, you're going to get it day one free of charge, which is amazing. Then they whacked in EA Play. Now, regardless of what you think of EA, I was just happy because I said this to Dave. If they do that deal, the first game that's going to be free is Jedi Fallen Order. And it was. And I've been streaming that since that happened for like the last 6-7 weeks. So I'm happy as Larry with that service. If they, as you say, it's the icing cake because I play Assassin's Creed. I don't really play Watch Dogs, but there's lots of other Ubisoft games that I love. So got the 4 big sort of houses there. I'm not going to go anywhere else.
You'll have that Prince of Persia remake on there as well.
They can stick that in the Sands of Time. Yeah, they probably would, wouldn't they? Because they'll probably say that's the first thing they're going to bring out because it sells 0 copies. I honestly think if they do this deal, PlayStation are going to shit themselves.
They're going to have to come up with something to offer in return, aren't they? Because they haven't really got much. They've got their PlayStation Now, which isn't that good in opposition to Game Pass. It's the closest thing they've got. But they're going to have to look at some of the people. Maybe they're going to throw some money at Activision Blizzard, get Call of Duty and stuff on their platform. Who knows? They'll have to go to another big one.
That could be a big win for them, but then you think that is only one franchise because they really only focus on that now. So then that would be, I mean, that could be devastating for Xbox for all the Call of Duty fans because then if they got exclusive rights on that, but then you think there's still a bigger amount of games that all these other houses churn out. If you like all your sport, it's EA. If you like all like your big first-person shooters and your mythological stuff, you've got Bethesda, and an Ubisoft is all your open world games. And I do agree, PlayStation Now, at its time, kicked Xbox's arse completely, but that has completely changed now. And even with the cloud gaming, I think this came up with the fact that the cloud gaming you can get on Game Pass. And there's certain games you can get your mobile, your crappy phone that's like 4 years out of date, stick it to a controller. As I said before, this phone's well old. I could play Sea of Thieves on this and it runs fine. That's what's insane. They had a version of it, cloud gaming. They've never shouted about it, and I've never understood that. They concentrated on the VR. They need to do something.
Yeah.
What do they need to do, essentially?
You know, PlayStation are sort of really, and they have got amazing unit IPs. You know, they've got some fantastic first place, amazing games, truly amazing. But you can't pin all your hopes just on their library. Seems to be just shrinking and shrinking, and what they're relying on. You know, Spider-Man games, fucking brilliant games, but you can't just pin your hopes on these one titles and stuff. And I just think the way gaming is now, you know, my Xbox in the living room isn't my Xbox; it's the family's Xbox.
Yeah.
And that's the difference now of where we're at in our age as gamers. It's for everyone to use. So my library, my Game Pass, and what games are on all the family's games. So your console has to have such a broad appeal for you to decide that that's your console of choice now. And that's why I spoke to this prior we go live. I had a PS5 on pre-order. And if it was just for me, there were some unique titles on the PS5 that, wow, fucking brilliant. I'll absolutely have an amazing gaming experience on them. But because that console was going to be for everybody, for my wife and for my daughter, Microsoft was the clear winner the more I thought about it, because of Game Pass, because of the broad appeal. It was more cost effective to do that. Everyone just has a better experience on the Xbox. So I cancelled the PS5 for the Xbox. You know, and I think that's how important Game Pass is now. I think it's a perfect example of where people are, that gaming has changed.
Yeah.
Not just about that one person who's using that console anymore. And they have to think about that.
I totally agree with you. Dave, any final thoughts on that before we move on?
Well, with you on Game Pass has been really good. I mean, I think that's becoming the platform, isn't it, for Microsoft? It's not so much Xbox their platform anymore. It's just a device that will play the stuff. Yeah, you can play loads of things on PC now, loads of them on Android. Eventually come to iOS, I think, soon. So you can just play these games anywhere with that subscription. I think for PlayStation to catch up, they're going to have to roll their PS Now into their standard PS Plus subscription. You know, don't keep them separate. Roll them into one, make the price good. I don't think they could do first-party releases day and date in that. I don't think they've quite got the money behind them like Microsoft has to be able to do that. But who knows? They could turn around and say they do some. We'll have to see. But yeah, that they do need to up their game. I think Microsoft are fast overtaking them. I think Microsoft probably closer to being able to take the for the players thing off them, because they're definitely feel more for the players these days with Game Pass, all the backwards compatibility work they do. That's something Sony are behind with again. Whole back compat. They put it on the PS5, but Xbox can do more with the back compat games than PS5 can with the PS4 stuff. Can't improve them a huge amount.
No, you know, Xbox has always it's always been my choice of console. And even though I always get the piss ripped out of me for loving Xbox. And, you know, I have a dig back at PlayStation people, but a lot of the time I wouldn't be able to win the argument. I've said since they announced these consoles, this console generation war, Xbox are going to smash it. They've not sold as many units as PlayStation at the moment. But I think in time, it will massively change. And I honestly think this will probably be the first time that they will do this. I think Microsoft will win this. And I'm not showing any bias because PlayStations are excellent as well. But I just honestly think Microsoft, for once, have not fucked this up. They normally do. They fucked it up with the Xbox One. Let's face it, we talked about this over. Hey, it's all coming with a Kinect and it's going to be on all the time and watching you, and everyone's going, holy shit, no. You know,
I think that's the thing. I think that is the thing. They have listened. They have realised what their mistakes were, and they've acted on their mistakes of previous generations. They look like, right, okay, what actually do our customers want? Let's give it them.
Yeah.
You know, backwards compatibility being up there as a prime example. I mean, I'm blown away by the backwards compatibility and what it's done for the 360 games and the enhancements that it does for the Xbox One's games. I mean, it's like they felt like brand new games, some of them.
Yeah.
What more could I possibly want? like really to get fresh life into my existing library. For amazing. It's opened up the doors for more gaming for my daughter. You know, she's playing 360 games. You know, she's playing the Joyride, which is some racing. Having great fun on that. Great fun. She's playing. Check this out, Feeding Frenzy, which was one of the first 360 games out. She's having a brilliant time. And I just think, this is great. This is fantastic. She's playing games that I played many moons ago now. She's got a whole library available. She's playing Disneyland Adventures, which is shit. It looks shit, but she's having
I've been playing that last year.
My daughter enjoyed that as well.
So I just think, you know, how could I couldn't get my daughter into gaming or give her that gaming enjoyment without buying her a shitload of games on the PlayStation. I couldn't do that, could I? There's no way for me to do that.
Well, there you go. We're gonna crack on. All I'm gonna say is we'll keep our fingers crossed that Microsoft do that deal and that Ubisoft moves over. Obviously, they're not going to buy Ubisoft. They're just going to basically put that platform as part of it, just to clarify that. If anyone's thinking, oh my God, they're buying Ubisoft, they're not. They're basically have that subscription service tagged on, so you'll get all the Ubisoft games. And then finally, if all the people who are PlayStation owners have given me shit over the last 10 years, I can go to them. So there you go. So let's keep our fingers crossed to that one. Right, we're going to swiftly crack on with more games that are coming out this year. We're moving into April again. I want to say hi to Duran, who's joined us in the chat. Now, this is a sequel to a game that was originally a PlayStation exclusive, but then a couple of years later did find its way onto Xbox. Again, I know Dave has played this. I have played this. I have mixed feelings about this game. This is the sequel to Nier Automata. This is Nier Replicant. Let's have a look at the trailer. There we go. So that's Nier Replicant. Slightly different to the original because it's a bit more hack and slash, where the first one was more kind of a shooter with hack and slash elements to it. Dave, you played a fair bit of this one, didn't you? Or got so far? I remember us having a conversation and you got to the same part as I did.
I didn't get as far as you. I probably put a good 4 or 5 hours or something into Nier Automata. Yeah, it's a good game, but other stuff just came out that pulled me away from it. It didn't really enough to sort of grab me. I mean, looking at that one, it looks a bit more of the same. I wouldn't say it looks that great. I don't know, actually, this one's a remake of a prequel. I think this is something that came out before Nier Automata. Yeah. I'll have to double check to see if you're right. But just looking at it graphics-wise, it just looks a bit more sort of basic.
I wonder whether it's a remaster again. It doesn't say it is, but I wonder if it's a remaster. But it is.
I think it could be.
It's definitely coming out for PlayStation and PlayStation 5, but it comes out for PC on the same day, so it's not an exclusive like it originally was. But that's like April the 23rd. So, Chris, your thoughts on it?
I ain't got any. No. It's another one of them games that just doesn't do it for me. Again, I think it's quite a niche market, those style of games. do you know what? And people who like them games, there are some amazing ones. The best Square Enix game, that's what made me smile when I saw that it was that game. Bushido Blade is a game that is going way back to PlayStation. I absolutely adored that game. I don't know why I thought of that game when I saw it. I don't know. It's just not one that I go, yeah, I'll check that out. Again, it's one, if I can check it out on a free download to have a little blast on it for a few hours, I might do. To try it out, but that's the best it'll get from me. That sort of game, really.
Cool. I'm kind of with Dave. I played Nier Automata. I quite liked it. I got so far in it, and then I started playing something else, and I just never went back to it. So it's what I class as a good game, but not good enough to keep me involved. Whether I'll go back to it at some point, I don't know. We'll have to see. But there we go. Moving in now, this is a game, kind of again ties in what we're saying. Before Bethesda got bought by Microsoft, Bethesda announced last summer that there was the first ever PlayStation exclusive of a Bethesda game, also made by Arcane, who did Prey and the Dishonored games. This is a game I'm very excited for, except it's pissed me off because you're only going to be able to get it on PlayStation. But this is quite a long trailer, but I think it needs it. This is about 3 minutes or so bear with us if you're watching in the chat and stuff. This is Deathloop. I am very excited for this, even though I will probably never, ever get to play it. Here we go.
Hello, Black Reef. Colt, my predecessor, has been pronounced guilty of treason. He is to be shot on sight henceforth in perpetuity. Your assistance is appreciated and mandatory. The real party doesn't start until he's dead.
She is not making this easy. Good morning, Black Reef. Another day, another death. Aren't time loops fun? For everyone else on this island, this place is paradise. A never-ending party where hunting me is the main attraction. And no matter how I try to escape, they always cut me down. But I'm one stubborn motherfucker. Every loop I'm learning a little more, piecing together the puzzle. There's 8 targets, and they all gotta die before midnight. There's just one little snag.
You thought it was going to be easy?
Juliana Blake, Black Reef's protector and a real pain in my ass. She may kill me 1,000,000 times, but eventually, inevitably, I will break this fucking loop.
don't like watching you die. I like killing you. There's a difference.
PlayStation.
There we go. Deathloop, ladies and gents. I am really excited for this. The whole premise of it is quite interesting because there's, as you can see, there's elements of it that are like the weapons and the gunfighting works a bit like a typical Bethesda shooter. Elements of like Dishonored that you can warp up and do things and do traps and approach things different angles. There's the element that is very much like the game's Super Hot. If you die, you have to start again and rethink your strategy of how you kill everyone. But it's also taken from two perspectives of the fact you've got one guy that's trying to stop these loops from happening. So he's trying to get to the end of this. And you've got the other character that's trying to stop him because she wants the loops to happen. I think that makes for a very interesting game. I'm going to go with Dave on this first. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm looking forward to it as well because I liked Arcane's last few games. I played all the Dishonors, really enjoyed Prey. So this was like another one of their good games. I like the art style they're going with as well. It's got that sort of 70s spy style to it, hasn't it? Which looks really quite cool. So I've got high hopes for it. Although I do want to know a little bit more about like how it's going to play and how it's going to work with that other character who's like hunting the main one down. Is it going to be someone else who's going to be invading the game world at perhaps random times, or is it an AI controlled character, or does it just switch you over to him for a bit of fun, different point of view later on? Yeah, I definitely want to know more about how it's going to play before I look to buy it. Cause could turn out it might not be the sort of thing I'm that interested in. If it's one of those like rogue type games where things keep changing every time you play. I've never been interested in those. But if this is one about just learning how to get characters into the right situations, then take out all 8 of those people in one fell swoop to do it, that might still be quite cool.
It's interesting you say about the whole rogue thing because obviously Arcane, who made Prey, one of the DLCs that they made was Prey Moon Crash, which is it changed every time you played it. So it was always trying to find ways to get out. And I know that was very, very good. So if they do it like that, would that satisfy you, or do you think it needs something different?
It might do. I need to have a look at that DLC to get a feel for it, see if it would work for me. So I keep meaning to, keep looking at it. I'll pick it up in one of the sales and it goes to dirt cheap.
I think it is at the moment. Well, it was. I think, again, it was in the sale, but I think it's gone again, as these sales do. Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, looks great. It was one of the very first games that I saw for what is now the current gen. Sorry, a long time ago, and it really grabbed my attention. Of wow, we've got something different on our hands here with the dynamics of how you were moving through the world. I'll be interested at what the depth is, like you were saying, how deep you can actually go into this game and what actually you can truly do with the environment and the other characters in it. If you can go to whatever level depth you want, i.e. if I can pick it up and have a quick blast for an hour on it, or I can go back and play it and I can really play with the other characters in the world, I think that's the perfect mix for that game. I think that game will do very, very well, actually. I think it'll do very, very well. Definitely a market for it. The style is fantastic. Soundtrack, everything about it visually, I think, that's on point. Fun. Yeah. It's simple as like, you're going to have a fun time, aren't you? No matter what on that game. Sold. For best get PS5.
Yeah, I know. Same here now because it's the only thing I've got to play. Maybe they might do a turnaround and might say, because it has been known that games come out for PlayStation and a year or two later they do come out.
I think it is a 1-year exclusivity for PlayStation. Okay, I think it's coming out Windows PC same time as PS5.
So we could see
Xbox maybe a year later,
possibly coming on the Game Pass or something. Possibly,
I'd expect so.
I'll keep my fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'll be buying a bloody PlayStation 5. So there you go. That is coming out on May the 21st. Going from one shooter to another. This is a game that wasn't really heard of until literally December when they announced it at the Game Awards. This is a successor to the very amazing Left 4 Dead games because it is made by the same team. It's not the same software house, but it's definitely the same team. This is Back 4 Blood. This is another game I am very, very excited for. Let's have a look at it.
Civilians are required to stay in their own homes for their own safety.
Take my life just now today. Till your blood there's hell to pay.
There's too many. Stick together. We got a job to do. Remember?
And no worm-ridden son of a bitch is gonna stop us.
Up her up, handsome.
What the hell?
Cover me!
You got the devil inside. Set you on fire. You got the devil inside.
Damn, what is that? Take it out!
Oh man, that's my favorite hoodie.
A little club soda will take that right out.
Watch out!
Can't say it all. You got the devil inside. Set you on fire. You got the devil inside. Devil inside.
So there we go. That is coming out on June the 22nd. That is Back 4 Blood. Not much gameplay there, but to be honest, if you go all over Twitch or anywhere, you can say gameplay. It is basically Left 4 Dead, but brought up like 20, well, no, it can't be 20 years, 15 years later, would you say? Because I remember playing it on the Xbox 360, first 2 Left 4 Deads.
Making me feel old now.
I know.
It was that long ago.
I know.
They were great games, the Left 4 Dead. I've played both of those. They're a hell of a lot. Absolutely awesome fun.
Yeah.
Really, if
Really,
this can live up to those, I think I'll definitely be playing a bit of that.
from the game footage I've seen, it works very much the same way. You've got safe houses. It's 4-player co-op. More weapons. Obviously, there's like updated versions of some of the classic monsters you saw there, but even bigger and badder monsters and hordes of zombies, because that's what Left 4 Dead was known for. You could be walking through a little part of a hotel and it was all quiet, and suddenly just everything just masses and goes World War Z on your ass. So I really hope it's going to be a massive hit. I really do. Chris, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, mate, and that's it. You had me at Left 4 Dead. Phenomenal gaming experience. Absolutely, this one is going to be a huge success. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And just with the connection it's got to its previous following, I'll be checking loads of in-game after knowing about it. I didn't know much about it. Being honest, I didn't know much about it. So I'll be checking it out, and it'll be a definite purchase for me. Absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You just know I know it's a different game house and stuff, but the lessons and the dynamic, how that game was. I mean, that was an incredible gaming experience, even on your own or with multiplayer. Yeah. It was fantastic. It was just the quality you came to expect from those guys. You knew you were getting it, and top game. It reminded me, the baddies in it reminded me of Resident Evil bad guys. And I thought that sticky stuff that they got stuck in, I was already imagine playing it thinking, fucking hell, you're going to get stuck to them. You're going to be in this or the rest of your squad's going to have to help you out and all that. But great gaming experiences.
I'm really looking for Limbo in the chat says he's looking forward to that. So hi Limbo. Yeah, I want that game. And as you say, didn't know much about it because it was literally the third week in December. It got announced at the Game Awards, and nobody really knew it was coming. And it was a big surprise hit, and all over Christmas. Though that software house has been doing live streams of how the game plays, and it's been getting a phenomenal reaction. So fingers crossed for it.
Game of the night so far for me. That excited of what's coming, without a doubt. That's the one.
Brilliant. Again, we'll see. We've got a few more to go. We'll see if that stays or if it changes as we go. We're going to move into games. That was the last game with an actual set date release. We're going to move to a few games now where kind of the windows are a bit vague, but they have said it's 2021. Going for something in a completely different tonal shift. This is more of a cutesy game. It couldn't be further away from guns and explosions and zombies if we tried. This is get this right, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which is, I believe, a PlayStation exclusive. So let's go check this out. This is supposed to be coming out anytime between now and the end of March. So here we go.
I know you are kind. You sense the power that flows through this land. Yet, you do not fully understand it. Driven by the belief that you can help these troubled spirits. But you cannot hide your weakness from me. You have no power here, Kenna.
There we go. So that is Kena. As it says, it is a PlayStation exclusive for a limited time. It's also coming to PC, so it probably will come to Switch and Xbox in future. It's funny because before Christmas, we were discussing one game, which I think it was Immortals or Phoenix Rising, but the name's changed, and we talked about it, and it was like we described it as, and it sold very well over Christmas, described it as a Breath of the Wild light. This, to me, is the same sort of thing, but Monster Hunter light. Do you agree, or do you think it's
hard to say with just the snippets of gameplay we saw. I mean, it could just be another sort of third-person hack and slash one with some puzzle solving where you're guiding those little spirits around with your stick to solve a few puzzles for you. Hard to say exactly what it's going to be like without seeing more of it. Visual style-wise, I thought it looked nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to see a bit more about it. Could be something I'd be interested in playing. I did quite like a good third-person action game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I thought visually it looked beautiful. Actually, I really like the palette and everything that they've used and the style. It's one of them PlayStation games that could be totally mediocre or it could be absolutely exceptional. and it's very hard for us to gauge with what we've just seen. I don't know exactly what it is yet. It's not telling me specifically what type of game it is or what the narrative is particularly. It needs to show more before we can really gauge whether it's going to be a bit of a contender or not. But it looks like it's got potential, that's for sure.
Yeah. Just before I say anything else, I want to say, Discord, hi, good evening. He said this looks good. He thinks this is great. I want to say thank you to Vinny for the raid. So he's just raided the channel with 4 more people. Hello to Foxylicious, everyone there. So thank you for just joining us now. It looks perfectly good to me. It's like that. I wish I could remember that game. It was originally called Immortals, but they changed the name of it, and it came out in December. And when we had Gary on the show, and I can't bloody remember it.
I think it did get named Immortals Phoenix Rising, wasn't it? That was its final name. And a different title before that. Was it something like Gods and Monsters or something before?
Yes, that's right.
That the original title was.
And it was very much a family version of that.
Yeah, as you say, that's been doing well. A friend of mine's been playing it over Christmas. He's been thoroughly enjoying it with his kids. Yeah. It's a really good game.
I think it was a surprise hit. People didn't think it was going to match. The reviews came in at like a 7 out of 10, and it sold brilliantly. I think this could possibly be another sort of sneaks under the radar and does really well. So we'll have to see. So there you go. Vinny's been playing. Was it Prison Architect you've been playing, Vinny? Because I know you just raided from your channel to come across to mine. Hence all the references. Oh, yes, he was playing Prison Architect. So there you go. So there we go. Right, we'll move on to our next game. So again, we know that there is going to be a new version of this game. But in the meantime, sometime in the spring, so either March, April or May, we are getting a remastered version of these games. So we are going to look at it's a very short trailer for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, if I've got that right. Hopefully I've got the name right of it. Yes, Legendary Edition. So there we go. Let's play the trailer for this. I want to discuss all about the Mass Effect games. There you go. That's all you're getting. Keeping it short and sweet, ladies and gents. I think that wasn't even 30 seconds. I'll jump the Chris first time. Mass Effect fan or not?
I haven't played them. I'm more than aware of them because I was going to play them, and every time I got, you know what, I ain't got fucking time for that. Because of how big that game is, and the world. I thought once I'm in, my life's gone for it, and so I never kind of went back to it. I don't know a person who's ever had a bad gaming experience on it. I think everyone's enjoyed it. I just, with a game remastered of that size, I don't know who's going to go for it. I don't know when there's other things coming. I don't know. It's like GTA is an example. Like, you know, the amount of remasters that are on the horizon. I'm like, right, who's going to double dip on that and go for that? Or how are they going to remarket that to somebody new? And I don't know how to do it. And just with, if people haven't got the time, to actually really get into a huge game like that, who's going to go for it?
It's interesting because you mentioned the GTA 5 thing. Obviously, that came to 2 generations consoles. Yeah. They then put it on the last generation, and now they've announced it's coming to the new generation. There must be a market, otherwise they won't do it. And again, or is it the fact that it's such a beloved franchise that they know people are going to buy it regardless of the people who originally played it? It's one of those.
Someone's put in the comments. Skyrim, prime, great example.
Yeah.
You do go back to it for the nostalgia thing, don't you? It's a great point. Skyrim continues to sell with big time, and nostalgia is a big part of gaming these days. So perhaps, I think that's took that on board. I think you're right. That's why retro gaming is so big as it is, because we all want to go back to that feeling we had of that first time of playing those games. Best of luck to it.
Dave, what do you think? Actually, before you do that, I'm just looking through the comments at the moment. They're saying this looks badass as heck. Haven't played them. Vinny said hasn't played them, but looks like a great trailer. Looks like a game I'd enjoy playing once or twice. It's like 10 years of game. Yeah. Zilpha's just said she's got Skyrim on Nintendo Switch, because that was probably one of the last few things that it did come onto Sky, but it there. So there you go. Hi Zilpha, by the way. Thanks for joining us. I mean, again, Foxy makes a good point that it's a game where after 2,000 hours, you still haven't done everything there is to do yet.
I mean, you can't whinge about your value for money there, can you?
No.
If you're having a great time.
If you spend 150 quid over 3 generations of consoles, right? So we're talking like 10, 15 years, but you've got more than 2,000, 4,000 hours out of it. That's worth 150 quid, ain't it?
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Doff my cap to it.
Yeah. Limbo says he loves this game. And before I move in, I move to Dave. Sorry, because I've got to cut you off because all the comments are going a bit mad. Vinny again says, actually, that's true. That nostalgia is most of the times why we come back to older games. I streamed Blood Money because I wanted to see what the game was like before Hitman 2. So, people crave for that stuff. Dave, what's your thoughts on this? We'll come to you and then we'll move on to our next game.
Yeah, I really loved the Mass Effects. I played all 3 of these back when they first came out. Although I remember waiting for a while to play Mass Effect 2 and 3 because of the way they did the DLC for those. And that was characters and levels ripped out of the main game to sell off later. So you were always best off waiting then for it to go in and play it as it was meant to be. So this will be a great way to play it for people who want that nostalgia feeling. And for new players who've never played it before, it'll be the best version to play. I can't say I'll go back to it because I think I put about 40 hours into each one. I haven't got 120 hours spare to go through it again. But they were brilliant games. Absolutely superb.
Well, we're going from one space game to another. Dave knows I hate these games with a passion, but I promise I'm going to be...
going to be impartial.
Game impartial and diplomatic. I also, before we put this, I want to say thank you to Zilpha for the 1 month sub. Thank you so much. Thanks to Mia for the 10 bits. I keep jumping back. Welcome to the community, Zilpha. It's greatly appreciated. So let's have a look at, and this is a game that's been greatly delayed because it was supposed to be the big Xbox exclusive, and then it didn't happen. And I didn't care for it anyway. But that's all I'm going to say. So we are going to have a look at a trailer for, and it's coming out in the autumn. We don't know when, but it's coming out in the autumn. And I forgot to say that Mass Effect Legendary is coming out in the springtime. This is going to be Halo Infinite. Here we go. Okay, so Halo Infinite. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Before we do discuss it, the chat's been going mad. I want to say thank you to bloody hell. So Vinny for the 5 bits, Zilfa for the 100 bits, Mia for another 20 bits, and then Vinny sent another 16 bits. So thanks for the money, guys. Really appreciate it. Really, really, really do. It's always the way with these talk shows. We start a talk show and we get down to like the last half an hour, and then everyone comes charging in and goes, "Oh, the talk show!" So thank you for your contributions. You are Zilfa. I can say it now. You think you're the only one who hates Halo? No, because I bloody hate Halo. I can't stand the games. Oh, Chris hates Halo. Go on, Chris.
I'm outnumbered here.
You're outnumbered here, Dave. Go on, go for it, Chris.
I need Chris to come into the chat. He likes it.
Before I say what I'm going to say, Halo, the original Halo and Halo 2 were some of the best gaming experience I've had with my mates online, multiplayer, with the projector setup and all that. Fantastic. I tell you what, we need to fucking stop these Halo games. It's done. It's fucking over. I don't get it. It's just gone fucking downhill like that. Give me something new. Give me something unique. It is so up its own ass through this game. It needs to just Microsoft work on something fresh and unique. You can do it. Make that your primary. It's done. It's over. Forget it. It's gonna sell. People are going to buy it. They're going to think it's fucking wonderful. It'll have a big community, and they'll think it's great. Boring.
Well, the problem is, it's just got that big, hasn't it? It's become one of those big, huge franchises. They're never going to let it go. It's the same with Sony. Got some big franchises, haven't they? They're probably not going to let go. They're going to keep dragging them out. And whilst I do love Halo, there are some of the games I don't think are that good. I've gone back to Halo 2 in reshoots, and I actually don't like that, especially some of the other ones. Yeah. First one, I still think is the best. Just the levels in that were superb. 3's got some fantastic levels, but it's also got one of the worst in the series in there. And then the recent ones, 4 and 5, I enjoy them, but they're not as good. It has gone past its heyday. I'm looking at this one. It looks like they changed up a little bit. So it looks like it's going to be a bit more open world. It's a bit more open what it's doing. So I've got my fingers crossed it's going to be better than 4 and 5. That's my hope.
My only thing about this, and this is the only thing I'm going to say, is this was supposed to be the game that was on day release of the Xbox Series X and S. And they showed the gameplay and everyone went apeshit and went, fuck me, the Xbox 360 game looked better than the thing you're showing. And they went, right, we're taking it back to the drawing board. I have seen some work of it, what it looks now compared to 6 months ago. And I have to say, it looks like a next-gen game now. So it's good that they're giving it polish. But it's been postponed for a whole year. I've got no love for these games, unfortunately. I know there's a community that are going to love it. I hope it does them justice. But I just couldn't give two shits, is my thing, unfortunately. I know, Dave, you're a big fan. And again, we got Chris here, our guest, but we got Chris, who's normally with us on Sea of Thieves. He was in the chat earlier. He's a big Halo fan. He might come and wade in and help you back. I'm just having a look. Discord said, look at Destiny, also made by Bungie. They should have left it at the first game. And same with Halo. Keep it to the originals. Keep the games fresh instead of milking them. Milk them like Disney milked Star Wars. Here we go. Let's have a look. Another comment. Yeah, but I think they are going for another game of it. They should have remastered it because, well, like I said, they can get more people. I think there's a potentially going to be some remasters. I think there's going to be an upgraded version of what's the collection called, Dave? You've
got the Master Chief collection that's got Halo 1 through 4 in there. Got Reach as well, an ODST in there. They haven't done remasters of like 3 or ODST. They just sort of brought them up to slightly better standards. They could probably do the graphic remaster like they did with Halo 1 and Halo 2, which had anniversary releases. Wouldn't surprise me if they do like an anniversary for Halo 3 at some point. That's probably looking quite dated graphics wise compared to the rest now.
Yeah,
but I think they all run at 4K, probably up to 120 FPS if you've got a screen that will run it at that. But they keep doing stuff with these older games.
Yeah. We'll we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm going to move swiftly on because I feel that I'm going to end up getting into a debate about Halo, and we'll probably save that for a show sometime in the autumn.
Do a whole show about that, couldn't you?
We could probably do it. We'll have a whole panel debate, on it for like 4 days. So we'll do that. So yeah, I'll get. Someone just said Halo debate time for riots. Yeah, that's okay. So here we go. We've literally got 4 more games to talk about, and we've got 20 minutes, so we can do this. Plus, I wanted to quickly talk about something else. So see if we can squish this all in. So we're going to go way, way, way retro now. This is a game that came out for PlayStation 8 years ago. It then came out for Xbox. Oh, look, spot the cat in the background. There you go. Game the
Special
cat.
guest tonight.
Special guest tonight. There you go. Sorry, Chris, you've been demoted now as our special guest. This was
a cat like Halo.
I'm going to kick it out of the house if it does. This is a game that then came out on Xbox about 3 years ago. It came to Nintendo Switch a year ago, and it's finally making its way to PC sometime between now and June. How vague can you get? This is an 8-bit style of game. This is called Axiom. Oh God, I'm not going to say this right. Axiom Verge. Let's check out the trailer. There we go. That trailer was taken from Xbox because I couldn't find a trailer for the PC version, even though it's supposed to be coming out. But that's Axiom Verge. Good old style. Reminds me of like Turrican, those kind of games, 8-bit style. Is it something
I was thinking it looks a bit like Metroid, the way it's got some of those like, hidden paths you got to take, skills to use.
Yeah. Is it something you would play?
No, I don't think I'd go for it. Never played the older style Metroids. I don't think I'd go into playing this one at all.
Okay. Chris, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I would check it out actually, purely for the retro vibes. And I'd be interested to see what I get from it. And I think for a certain market who wants that old school feeling, hey, there's your answer. We've got something for you here that you can have a go of on your current gen. But then the flip side of it, do you know what? It's quite easy to get your retro gaming fixed these days in other areas if you so wish.
Yeah.
How many of us have got retro consoles now and access to stuff? So why do I actually need that? Where can I have the real thing, so to speak, and get some of those classics that give me that same feeling?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on because it's not like a big name game, but again, I try to cover all bases, and then we're making a big thing about it coming on PC. But again, if I know it's on Xbox, I might actually try to see if it's in the Xbox Game Pass library because it could be there. I don't know, and I would give it a whirl. It's something you could hopefully pick up and play for a few minutes and come back to it and bounce back. So,
and do you know what? That's a great. It's a classic example of what you do with your Game Pass. It's a classic sort of game that you'd download it, you'd have a blast of it a few hours, you'd probably have a good few hours on it, and then you'd probably never go back to it. But you've had a go of it.
Yeah. Cool. Right, we're going to move on. Again, something completely different. This was announced a couple of years ago. This is going to be an Xbox exclusive. It was mentioned at E3 a couple of years ago, but then earlier this summer, they then announced that there's like a well-known cast of names coming to this game. Very, very intriguing. I am really looking forward to this, and I hope this pays off. I'll explain more about it for the chat a little bit later on, but this is going to be the trailer for 12 minutes. So here we go. Let's check this out.
All right, close your eyes. I want you to think of a flower. Look at its contours, its curves. Now I want you to imagine it changing, moving backward, returning to its bud. Think of that bud, unopened. Look at it as a whole, and silently repeat these phrases. May you be free from suffering. May you be free from fear. May you know peace and joy.
So there you go. That is 12 minutes. So the premise of this, as silly as it sounds, is you have 12 minutes to solve the mystery. If you fail to solve the mystery, it's like Groundhog Day. It starts again. So a bit like the Deathloop premise. But as you go, because you are going to fail on the first time, the more you do it, and again and again and again, the story unravels from different angles. So you get to solve the mystery. We've seen that James McAvoy's in it, William Dafoe and Daisy Ridley of Star Wars fame. It's absolutely, I'm really looking forward to this. Dave, I'm going to go with you first.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. I'm looking forward to it. It just looks really interesting, doesn't it? And I do like a good time loop premise as well. I don't know why, I'm just a sucker for those ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Foxy said, there's some movies and animes like this. They're always pretty cool. It's the kind of game they should make more often. So I'm looking forward to it. Chris, your thoughts?
I really like the look of it. It looks like it's what I want. It looks like a unique gaming experience and something that you can just get absorbed into. It's the perfect sort of game. You know, as I said, me and my missus often pick a game to play together. This is a perfect example of a game we would play and just have a great time. Yeah. This is what I want. I want something different, not a repeat of something. I want a unique gaming experience, and I can get that from that game.
I could see you were excited by this because even when I was saying, well, it was mentioned at E3, and I could see you nodding. Yeah, I know what this is. Yeah. I could see you just.
It just stands out as something different. Yeah. Right? Okay, what is this about? Whereas some you just go, all right, that's that. That's what that's going to be. Hang on a minute, something fresh. Let's check it out.
Yeah. I say that was the last E3 that ever happened was 2019. It was announced at that one. So it's coming up to 2 years. All we know is it is coming out this year. There's no time window. They've just said 2021. Now, moving on to our last two games, and then we're going to cram in some news, and then we're going to try and cram in our last trailer. This game was due to come out next month. And they had a big reveal trailer, which I'm going to play, which is going to be our longest trailer. So to warn you, this is nearly 4 minutes long, just to warn you. But over Christmas, it disappeared from all the stores. And it has now been delayed to late 2021. Is that a worrying sign? I like these games. I am a bit worried about this. And this is the only trailer you can get. So apologies, it is a long one. This is Far Cry 6. Let's check this out. Are we going to be excited for this game? Or do we think this delay should mean we're going to be worried about it? Let's have a look.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados de los farsantes.
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts: the shell,
which contains the explosive, defuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now, I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe will be wrong. They will answer you with screams, call you evil, a monster, and give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has two basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. Do you understand now? Prove it.
Watch more from Far Cry 6.
So there we go. Far Cry 6. As I say, bit of an epic long trailer, but was a very cool trailer to end one of the Ubisoft conferences on. Someone's mentioned here, with all the delays, I'll bring it, Foxy mentioned it, with all the delays with Cyberpunk, they say the delay's not necessarily a bad thing. And the fact that we've seen no footage, is that a good thing? Because that is the only trailer that's out there, apart from the opening credits. They've released the opening credits, which you can watch for 4 minutes, but that's about it. Do we think that, one, this is a good thing that they're doing that, and hopefully they won't make the mistakes that CD Projekt Red have made? Or do we think this might just be more overhyped and they really should have been done with this franchise? I'm going to go to Dave first on this.
Yeah, I can't say I'm that hyped for the franchise. I didn't enjoy the last one. Third one I did really enjoy.
Yeah.
But fourth one, played through that, a bit indifferent to it at the end. It just felt more of the same, which is kind of what I got with 5. It just felt more of the same again. I kind of find with Ubisoft's open worlds, they're getting very samey. It's just the same, just, question marks on the map to go and visit. Things to just drag the story out, make it go here, there, and everywhere. I don't find their open worlds that great. So I'm not really bothered about this one.
Okay.
I mean, as to it being delayed, hopefully it'll help the game out in the long run. It's better they delay it, polish it up, fix the bugs, release it in a decent state, and hopefully a good playable state. Because we're seeing what happens when companies release them in bad states.
Yeah. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd agree. Just nobody wants to be the next Cyberpunk. They're just making sure this game is absolutely spot on and nailed for release. They just want it right, and they want it as perfect as they can get it. In terms of interest for it, Far Cry's never really done it for me. I've dabbled in a few of them. I don't think I've completed one of them. I've played most of them just in and out at best. This one though, as sort of irks me straight, I think it's just because of the generation and what games are available at the moment. That I might check it out. I think they might be feeling the heat that they've got to nail it with 6 because we're on number 6 and it's the first one of this generation. And I think they just realise they might have to do something special. And if there's a flaw in it, people are going to find it.
Yeah, I feel they peaked at 3. I thought 3 is in probably my top 10 favourite games of all time, Far Cry 3. And I think the villain in it is fantastic. Even though he turns out not to be the main villain, which I thought was a good twist, but didn't see it coming, but it's really good. I bought 4 on the 360, never played it. And then when lockdown started, I played through for all of Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn, which is obviously like an extension of that, and thought they were both okay. So I'm hoping this will be something different. I hope it will bring some new mechanics into the game. But I think they're really laying on the fact that you've got the actor whose name escapes me, but is played Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, and he's in The Boys, and he's been in loads of other things, and he's such an excellent actor. And I think he's going to make an excellent bad guy. And I hope that's what's going to kind of bring that together. As Zilfa says, the one thing I like about Far Cry is it does look so realistic. So we'll see. We're going to move swiftly on because time's going away with us. This is the last game from our list of 17. So we probably will skip the bit of news because it's old news, but we will say what it was. Anyway, this is Ghostwire Tokyo, which was announced at E3. And this is the PlayStation 5 trailer. Let's have a look at this.
You see things others can't. Hear threats others don't. Fight when others won't. It's up to you to save Tokyo. So that's Ghostwire Tokyo. That is another Bethesda game. Not sure. It's saying it's coming out for PlayStation. Don't know whether that's an exclusive or not. It hasn't actually said, and we haven't got a release date. Couple of people saying the comparison there looks like Super Hot in some ways. When I originally saw the trailer for this, it was very much a game that the trailer was very different from the game footage that we got there. Looks like kind of combat-y. There's an element of what I would say like Devil May Cry, that you're in a real world, but you're in the alternative version of that world with demons and stuff.
Dave, I'm going to shoot to you on this one. What are your thoughts on this?
It's one I'm not quite sure what to make of. I don't know if it's going for like an open world or we're just going through, basic levels to fight these ghosts. Hard to tell exactly what you're going to get from that. It certainly looks interesting. Graphics wise, it looked pretty cool. Look like it's got some nice the classic sort of Japanese horror there. For any people who are fans of that stuff, I quite like some of that. So it might be one I'd have a look at. I can't say I'd pay full price for this. It might be one to pick up at a PlayStation sale some point down the road.
Yeah, Chris?
Yeah, I totally echo that. It's one of those try before you buys. It could be a great gaming experience, but you'd have to have a damn good go of it first, and you need to suss out what the hell it is, because I don't quite know yet. And I think you have to really pick it up to get the vibe of exactly what it's about. It reminds me of elements of all sorts of games in there mixed together at times, but I couldn't say that's what this game is. I need more info.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with both of you on that. I don't know. The original trailer I saw was very cinematic, which wasn't that one. And it had me intrigued. I then saw that trailer. I was like, I'm not sure. So I think we'll have to see. As I say, it's scheduled for some time this year. That's all we know. We're literally coming up minutes. We're probably going to run a few minutes over it, if that's all right with you, Chris.
Yeah, no problem.
That's cool. I'm going to very briefly mention the news story the other news story we're going to talk about. But to be honest, it's old news because it started happening. Obviously, we talked about Cyberpunk, all the issues with it, the fact that it's been taken off game stores and everything, which is not surprising how glitchy and bad it is. The fact that they're giving refunds. But the interesting thing that has come out over the last couple of days is that the PC version, modders have started to get on it. And there is like a mod for playing it in a third-person perspective, which doesn't look that good, but it's interesting. But they've actually started putting in mods to fix bugs in the game before the CD Projekt Red have sent out more patches. So the modders are actually trying to fix the game, which I actually thought was hilarious because that basically says you're not moving fast enough on this CD Projekt Red. What are your thoughts? We'll have quick few minutes of thoughts on this.
Well, that is the great thing about the PC. You can mod most of the games on that. So that for a lot of games, there's mods out to do various bits and pieces. And yeah, I bet you people will fix stuff up in Cyberpunk. Even if it gets to the end of the day when CD Projekt Red release 1, 2, 3, 4, however many patches to bring it up to what their standard is, you'll probably get modders who's going to go into it and improve graphics in it, fix AI issues, etc., etc. So that'll probably be a definitive way to play on the PC, just because you can add all these things in to make it even better.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you reckon, Chris?
Yeah, I love the modding community. It's what PC's about. It's a great part of the gaming world in PCs that it's about there. But in terms of the guys behind Cyberpunk, it's fucking disgusting, actually. Somebody said it was okay. Somebody said it was okay to release that game. It was not okay to release that game. It just shouldn't happen. I'm sorry, it just should not happen for it to be released in the state that it is. I know people who've fixes are starting to come online and they're having a great gaming experience and enjoying it. That's fantastic. It's great. I'm really glad it's been able to pull it back. But there's a lot of fucking damage done. Yeah. And we're the industry as large as it is, this should just not happen.
I think the other sad thing will be is when CD Projekt Red have actually finished doing all their patches to bring it up to scratch, whenever that is this year, a lot of people probably will have moved on. They will have played it in its current state and finished it, and then never go back to it, or they've got their refund, they won't rebuy it because other stuff will have come out. So it's going to end up getting missed by a lot of people. Hopefully, it will turn out to be really good, but a lot of people probably won't see that final product.
See, I'm an example of that. I didn't get it on day one, thank God, but it's had that much of a thing. I'm thinking, well, it's going to be a long time since I'm going to check it. I'm going to make sure that game's bang on before I get it. And chances are, I think somewhere else the next thing's going to have come along by then, and I'll be playing somewhere else, and I'll probably never go back to it.
Yeah.
The ship will have sailed. Done.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's had 4. I got it on day release, but didn't play it for 4 days.
Right.
It's had 4 apart from the day one patch, it's had a further 4 15-gigabyte updates. There is a giant update coming, which was announced literally from day one, sometime this month, with another big update to fix major issues in February, but we've not got dates. So we'll have to see. I'm streaming it at the moment. It's okay, is all I'm saying. I think it's okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it as much as I hoped I would, but it's certainly not as much as a trash heap that unfortunately some people... It depends what platform you're playing on it, but you know,
it's like I can see the bugs. You know, bugs are one thing, and we all expect bugs in games. We're okay with that.
Yeah,
but there comes a point, there's a quality threshold that should be hit. And did Cyberpunk, did the guys behind it hit it or not? I don't think they did.
Miles off.
No, I think it was a higher up decision, forced it out when it did. It needed to be delayed again.
I'm sure there'll have been bigger players in play who will prod it and get it out.
Yeah.
Welcome to the consequences, everybody.
Yeah. I'm going to quickly go through some of the comments before we wrap up and we play our last video. Zilfa says she's seen that Far Cry 6 is now been pushed back to April the 30th. It's interesting because I saw that date, but then I've seen somewhere else say sometime in the autumn. So I don't know what's the official one. So we'll have to see. We'll find out. But thank you for that, because I didn't know they said April the 30th. People said, look at Skyrim. You know, it was also buggy as a piece of shit. But after a while, if you get into it, it's good. People mod games off Bethesda, etc. Cyberpunk is shit. Physics are fucked. Many games have terrible physics. Doesn't make the game shit. But Cyberpunk, it does on top of everything else. Kind of games, you don't have to expect that there aren't any bugs from the start. User testing has to happen. Yeah, they shouldn't have released it. I would have been quite happy if they said we're bringing this out December 2021, and it would have been better. But there you go. I'm going to quickly recap very quickly before we come on to our last bit. So we have shown, and we've managed to get through it, gents. We have shown Hitman 3, The Medium, Little Nightmares 2, Persona 5 Striker, Prince of Persia remake, toilet, Disco Elysium, the remake, Gritty Gear, Nier Replicant, Deathloop, Back for Blood, Kena Bridge of Spirits, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Halo Infinite, Axiom Verge, 12 Minutes, Far Cry 6, and Ghostwire Tokyo. Those are the 17 games that we've talked about. I'm quickly going to tell you that next week we're doing our second part of this show. We are going to be discussing Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, Lord of the Rings Gollum, Psychonauts 2, Resident Evil Village, or Resident Evil 8, depending how you read it, Shadow Warrior 3, Stalker 2, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Oddworld, Humankind, Lego Star Wars, Ruined King, Spawn, Unknown 9, Ratchet and Clank, and God of War Ragnarok. That's a lot for me to say. Though we are going through another 17 games next week. However, before we finish, I always like to finish with a video, normally a funny video. This time it's not so funny. It's a video where, ironically, I don't know if this game is coming out. It was announced at the Game Awards. I am super excited for this. But it has not appeared on any list for games coming out in 2021. So I thought, do you know what? To finish on a kind of funny video, if you love these films as much as I do, it will be funny. So I am going to show the official trailer of Evil Dead, the game. I can't wait for this. Here we go. And then we'll have a quick discussion about it, and then we're going to wrap up the show.
I had a real life once. I had a wonderful girlfriend, Linda. Together we drove to a small cabin in the mountains. Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead. It seems an archaeologist had come to this remote place to translate and study his latest find. It was never meant for the world of the living. The book awoke something dark in the woods. It took Linda And then it came for me.
I cannot wait for that. It's got a very Friday the 13th vibe to it. I think it might be a multiplayer kind of thing. It covers peak characters from the TV series that ran for 3 seasons and the films, which it's going to tick any boxes. There were some other Evil Dead games go back to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. They weren't that great. I'm hoping that's going to scratch this itch. Vinny says that it could be a version like Dead by Daylight. I'd be happy with that if it's that kind of game. The best bit is Bruce Campbell, i.e. Ash, is doing his original character's voice. So he is in the game, which just sells it for me. Guys, what are you excited for this as much as I am? Or
I'm afraid not, mate. not a franchise I've actually bothered with at all.
I would love it to be good, but do you know what? I think we're edging towards it might be shit quadrant. Because, TV movie adaptations, they can really go one way or they can really go another, depending on who's working on them. I'd love it to be good for the fans of that genre. They'd have an amazing experience and it'd be great fun. Hopefully it is, but who knows?
Who knows?
It looked all right.
It does look good. Yeah.
Graphics-wise, it looks nice. I couldn't quite tell exactly what type of game it was going to be. Did you think it was going to be like 4 characters versus something?
I get the feeling it's like that, and there seems to be elements of it. I don't know whether there's other worlds at the moment. It's just showing you the cabin, but for the fact you've got the guy from Evil Dead 3, who's like the medieval knight, and you've got the girl from the TV series, it makes me think that there will be other maps and stuff. So, mate, I don't know. That's all we've got. We got that just before Christmas, but I nearly shit myself when I saw that, to be honest. I was so over the moon. I was just like, this looks amazing. Yeah, Foxy says Dead by Daylight, 7 Days to Die, State of Decay are all beautiful games. Fingers crossed, it's good. We're going to wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. Before we do, favourite game or game that you're most hopeful for, not including Evil Dead, out of those 17 that we discussed. Chris, I'm going to go with you first because you're our guest.
That was seem right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Back for Blood and 12 minutes for me.
Okay.
Those two by a long distance for me. Yeah.
Dave?
Well, I'm going to say Halo because I do like Halo. So I'm looking forward to that. But then the other one I'm looking forward to is Deathloop. I thought that looked really quite cool.
And I'm going to kind of go in between with two of you because I'm going to go for Deathloop, assuming that it is going to come to Xbox and not a PlayStation only, and 12 minutes. So I kind of picked two of yours as well. Yeah, I and possibly Little Nightmares 2 as well. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll make sure that when this goes on catch up, that video actually works. We'll put that in. So apologies if you were watching and that video cocked up. There we go. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our first talk show of 2021 done. Thank you so much to Chris for being our guest this evening.
Thank you. Honestly, I've had a great time. I've had a great time checking them out. I really have.
Really, really appreciate you being here and joining in and giving us your opinion on games. It's been great. Dave, thank you so much for being our co-host.
No problem. And
this is what I like because everyone has different opinions, and that's what's great. Especially because Halo sucks. So it's
Evil
good.
Dead shit.
Yeah, I know. You'll get your own back on me. You will. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to the people that have subbed, followed, sent the bits over. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated tonight. You can catch this up on the YouTube channel. Be on the YouTube channel tomorrow. If you want to continue this conversation, I will be online in the Discord channel after for half an hour. So if you want to basically slag me off and say why you love Halo or want to continue about other games, why Cyberpunk is so just mind-numbingly doing your head in, do it. Come and talk to us in the Discord. The link is been floating around in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone. And that's it. We're going to say good night and we shall see you. I am back on tomorrow night with the Wednesday night crew for Sea of Thieves. So I will catch you for the stream. But for now, thank you very much and good night, everyone.